Coucou mes puces. So, excuse me, a while ago I hauled some Kryolan and I told you that I would demo or review these guys, the cream color circles. I don't know why I always get that wrong, but I told you I would and I haven't in a little while. And so I thought since I use it, I might as well talk to you about them. So I have been loving these guys and they're pretty multi-use. I mean, they're relatively multi-use, and so I also are not all created equal, so some are more pigmented than others, so I wanted to talk you through that. The two that I have, this one is in Creature Feature, and this one is in Classic, and so I'm going to bring you in closer and do some swatching and talk to you about them. I have my claws still on, and so we're going to be careful about swatching so I don't like ding everything, but we're going to launch into it, and it's gonna work out. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one in Classic, and these ones all have sort of a shine to them, and so they all they twist open this way. I don't think I told you, but they're listed as like $17.53, like the most random price ever on the Kryolan website. It's obviously different in pounds, but I will link the website down below, and if you are ever in London, they have a great store in London that you can check out too. I think Tamara from Tamara J85, I'll link her channel down below, said that they also have Kryolan stores in Australia, if I'm not wrong. So there are probably stores all over the place that you could go visit, but I know of the one in London. That's where I went. So these are the colors again. This one is the one I have on my eyes as a base. I have the Limecrime Venus palette on top. The look for this will go up next Thursday. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. But these two are the ones I use most often as bases. So let me swatch them for you. So that's that one, that gold one. But do you see how beautifully, beautifully pigmented it is? And I love the way that, that's that reddish one. And I love the way that they shimmer and shine. So you can use them on a day when you're just like going out the door really quick. You can use these on their own. You could set them with your translucent powder or what have you. That's the one in the middle. It's that pinkish color. You could, what was I saying? Yeah, you can just use them on their own. I would still set them with a translucent powder just so that they don't crease throughout the day, but they're lovely and so incredibly long wearing that they work really, really great as sort of on-the-go types of bases. So this is that yellow one. I will say if you want to compare them to like a MAC paint pot, oh, I don't know if you're able to see that one, but it's right there. If you wanted to compare them to like a MAC paint pot per se, they are a little bit oilier. MAC paint pots are quite stiff. So these ones, when you rub them out, they feel a little bit oilier, but once they dry, they dry, like they're not going anywhere. I'm having like a brain freeze, but they're not going anywhere, so they will wear like a MAC paint pot. It's just that actually the oiliness I find is really lovely because it helps them blend that much easier. Again, you can wear them on their own. I would just set them either with a shadow that's in the same color or a translucent powder so they don't crease if you're going to wear them on their own. These ones I like mainly to use all over. That yellow one sometimes I'll use in an inner corner highlight, but for the most part these four I like to use as cream shadows. I'm going to wipe this off and show you the other two shades in this circle palette. Okay. The other two whitest shades you could definitely use as a base, especially if you wanted to create something more like white toned on your eyes and you wanted to use this instead of like, you know what a lot of people use, Milk, the jumbo liner from NYX. You could definitely use these guys instead to white out your eyes. They're very similar, those two colors. And they're white, so I don't know if they're going to pick up, but that's them on my hand. I actually, the way I've really been enjoying using these is as a highlight. It's not what I'm wearing today because I wanted a pink highlight, but I will put a little bit on and dab it on with my finger and then blend them through. Again, because they are quite oily or slick-ish, they do, like, I mean, if you're oily and you're worried about a glow, obviously probably don't use too much of a highlighter anyways, but they don't translate as like greasy once they dry. They translate as a nice highlighter. But what I will say is that as compared to other cream highlighters, They do blend really nice. A lot of cream highlighters are hard to use sometimes because they just don't blend and they go splotchy or whatever. These ones are nice and liquidy in that slick way, so that they'll be easy to blend on the cheeks, but then they'll dry to give a nice sheen. And so that's the way I've been liking to use those two. I will say there's not a huge difference between them, but they're in the palette that way. So you can't really pick and choose. But that's this one in Classic. And like I said, I will link them down below. Okay, so this next one I have is in Creature Feature. I did get this one on sale, so I'm going to try to look for it on the website. I hope it's there, but I would just check your stores if you have one locally in case it's not available on the website. So this one is really neat, and there was a day that I had like purple eyeshadow on that a lot of you really enjoyed, and honestly it was this color here. It's always hard to try to, like, I look at the camera to try to figure out what way to go with my fingers, and no. So it was this color right here and like a shadow on top of it, but it's this color that was the star. So of this palette, I've gotten the most use so far out of this color right here. I'm going to swatch it for you guys. On the viewfinder, it's looking a little bit more blue than anything, but it's got a really pretty lavender color to it. But do you see that pigmentation? Like, it's just phenomenal. It's really, really, really beautiful. I think it was Valerie who asked me how you use sort of colors to highlight. So something like a green like this, if you have a lot of, oh my gosh, do you see that pigmentation? I love using it as a cream shadow, but if you have a lot of redness, you can put a little bit of green, anything, any green pigment in those areas. Obviously not a lot, but a little bit, blend it in, blend your foundation and concealer on top of it. The green will counteract the redness. So this product, again, because it's so nice and blendable and soft, you'll be able to blend it in quite nicely. So it does really work for color correction that way. What I will say about these guys is that while they are really nice, soft and blendable, they're a little bit less slick than the Classic one. They are also matte, these ones. So that's just sort of a little bit of a difference. This color on my middle finger is that green, dark green right there. Yeah. The colors show up weird in my like viewfinder, like the screen that I have as a viewfinder. They usually pick up quite true to color once I import them on my computer, but it's always like, takes me a minute to process. I'm like, that doesn't look right. And then this gray, which is gorgeous. I thought it would be very similar to Taylor Gray from MAC, that paint pot, but it's a lot more purple toned than Taylor Gray from MAC. That's that one. And then this absolutely gorgeous, do you see that? Like almost oxblood type of color, which I think Pantone just announced their color of the year. I haven't memorized the name yet, but I think it's very close to this color. That's absolutely beautiful. You could use this one as a blush too, just be very, very gentle. So you could use something like a stippling brush with it, pat it on, and just blend it in, because that will be gorgeous as a blush. And then this final white color in the middle is similar to the other whites in the other palette. It's on my knuckle right there, but it just doesn't have the shimmer to it. I'm going to wipe these off before I get it everywhere, and then I'll come back. Okay, so that's it on these guys. A huge, huge recommend from my part. I will definitely be going back to that store and looking at more of them, just because I love how gorgeous they are as eyeshadow bases, as eyeshadows, as cream eyeshadows on their own, how versatile they can be in being highlighters, color correctors, or blushes. The pigmentation is amazing, the blendability is great, and I'm just overall a huge fan. Obviously, if you do sort of stage makeup or special effects makeup, these will be perfect for you. But also, if you're just sort of a makeup junkie, these are fun new additions to the collection. And at like $18 for one, how many do we get? You get 6 colors in there. And so while a MAC paint pot is about that $20, $25 range, depending on where you're buying it, like what country, because it varies by country, this is something that you get sort of 6 different colors for that $18 price point. You probably get a little bit less product than a paint pot, but who honestly goes through an entire paint pot, especially if it's like in a lime green color. So I highly recommend it. Let me know if you guys have any from the line down below, or if this inspired you to pick any up, all that kind of good stuff. People on the scaffolding, there's like 3 of them now. Yeah, that didn't dissuade them. They're still just staring at me. I'm gonna truck through because we're almost done with this video. I'm gonna do 3 points of positivity. So my first point of positivity, I've been watching a bunch of ColourPop hauls, and there's this new color called Tuxedo. It's like a Barbie fluorescent pink. It just looks so beautiful, and I don't think I'm actually able to order it because it won't, as far as I know, ColourPop doesn't ship to the UK. And also, I didn't want all 6 in the set. All I wanted was Tuxedo. But, that being said, just looking at the swatches has been making me so happy. The fact that a color like that exists out in the world is just, it's, as you can tell, I love pink, and it makes me really happy. My second point of positivity is like really chill days. I'm looking forward to a weekend of just flat out chilling like a villain all weekend. So that's definitely my second point of positivity. And my third, hand in hand with that, is I'm excited to catch up on some trash TV, like horrible reality TV that has no mental stimulation, just pure, you know, I need to lounge around and think about nothing kind of TV. Let me know what you guys are up to and what's been bringing you joy. Thank you ever so much for being here. I truly, truly appreciate every one of you. I want to send you guys tons of positive energy. And as always, just thank you for being here and remind you that life is just too short to wear boring lipstick. Bye, guys.